My name is J.F. Robert Bolduc. In 1984, I co-founded Matol Botanical International. At the time, I was a young 34-year-old looking for a direction. I can tell you today that I found that direction, and it has inspired me for the last 22 years. During those years, Matol became fairly successful worldwide. And I have to tell you that if I'm the heart of this company, let me introduce to you the soul of this company, a man called Karl Jurak. I was very privileged to spend years and years and years with him doing Matol meetings side by side. And I can tell you that I heard his story thousands and thousands of times. And it was just as compelling the last time as it was the very first time. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Karl passed away quietly at his home with his beautiful wife Sarah beside him. And some of you, unfortunately, will never have a chance to meet him and bask in his enormous aura that so much influenced so many of us. Therefore, I wanted to customize some old footage of Karl and make sure that you had a chance to listen to him saying his story in his own words. I believe it could be very inspirational, and I believe that you would gain a knowledge of the background that went into this very special product called Matol Km, which is a therapeutic tonic that acts on the blood and is unique in this whole industry. I believe that you will be pleased with the story. I believe that you will be curious about this product. And I believe that if you give it a chance and become part of Matol, both as a consumer or a distributor, it will enhance your life. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Karl Jurak.
The book of Karl Jurak's life contains many diverse and fascinating chapters. It is from a few of these accounts we call the following interview, conducted in August of 1989 in Montreal, one that reveals but a small glimpse into an engaging and eclectic past.
It happened one day many years ago in 1922. I was on the verge of collapse and so on. And so I said to myself, I am an agrobiologist, and that's a science of plant study and molecular structure of plant and chemistry of plant and so on. If there is anybody that has know-how to prod into the plants, I said, I have, and what I have got, I'll acquire. I'll go still deeper. So I started off by searching through pharmacopedia about different plants and so on. Then I went to Switzerland. In Switzerland, at that time, they were old men gathering plants, and they knew, like our Indians, they used to know that. They used to know the virtue of the plants like you wouldn't believe it. To this day, the Swiss serve themselves with that, and they sell packaged flowers and so on. And I got their lore and so on, and finally I immersed myself into serious studies in lab, and I started to break down the plants, break down the molecular structures, rearrange the molecular structures. I said, I know what each plant can do by itself, but my idea was born right away. If I could be clever enough and have enough scientific knowledge to steal the molecules from different plants and put them together with the molecules of another plant, and so combine a certain pattern, molecular pattern that would give me a formulation that I want, I would probably succeed. So I started to work on that pattern, and believe me, that's something like, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And of course, it's a very time-consuming. You have to be very patient, and you have to pour out your eyes and your mind, and you really have to concentrate. Anyhow, this is a story that's purely scientific. After 8.5 months, I finally prepared a brew that did what I thought I should have. But somehow, by that time, I was graduating in biochemistry, I was advanced in biochemistry. I started to feel that this formula is not complete, that there is a part of it missing, like in a jigsaw puzzle, to make it, or to call it a catalyst. Catalyst is something that it's hard to describe scientifically, but it means that it performs in a unique way, that you have a product that's a combination of molecular structure which has nothing to do with one single type of effect or one single type of departure, but it's a sort of synthesis to have a unique impact in a certain direction. And I went back to work, to lab, and I said, I'll find this if I can. And I had one night, I had a tremendous dream. I said that in one of my tapes. Vivid dream, which woke me up. It was so vivid, it was so super surrealistic that it was more than a daily sensation. And in that dream, I saw a screen, a sort of white screen. It was something like you have those northern lights here in Canada, just a diffusion of light. And this formula was written for me. The components of that formula were written for me so clearly, like the biblical story of Babylonian king that had a writing on the wall by the finger. I said, my God, I was shaken, and I wrote all that down. And in the beginning, I didn't know what to think of it. I rushed back to the lab as soon as I could to verify if it really works, and it did. And this was finally my preparation. In 1922, I planted a seed. It grew into a tree, a big, tall tree. It shades you all, it gives you fruit, and it provides those blessings that nature always gives.
Wow, I love listening and looking at Karl. Listen, friends, that was then and this is today. But the truth rings as loud today as it did 22 years ago. Along the way, Matol pioneered an industry called liquid supplementation. And today, with leading scientists and world-renowned immunologists, we believe at Matol that we can bring to you the very finest health supplements that you need to make sure that your health is a priority in your life. I thank you for joining us. I hope Karl inspired you. I hope you found this interesting. And I hope to see you at some future Matol event down the road. Thank you.